video 2, the other one just ran out, talking about creation, the flat earth model. Check out the first video. We were just talking about the solar eclipses, and the Egyptians have laid it out for us. The 3 pyramids in Cairo, Khufu, Khafre, and Mercury. Mercury representing Rahu, the black sun, because Mercury has to be aligned for that to neutralize the sun. For the moon to neutralize the sun, Mercury has to be involved. It's all chemical reactions. And you've got to realize Rahu, Ra is God, sun. Rahu, meaning the third entity, the other representative. And Ketu is the time, represents the time. So it's all about the time it happens. Because all religion, all this stuff, mythological stuff, all based on cosmology, the movement, and it's associated with man's brain, because man's brain is connected to the whole thing. And it's about enlightenment. This is how the kings are born. It's what the whole system's about. It's a divine period. This is what this is all about. The obelisk, the zodiac. Or it was all about when it was going to happen. These are all the ceremonies, all regarding the human brain and what's going to happen, when. It's all foreseen in the stars. The solar eclipse is the foretelling that Christ will be born at a certain time. The solar eclipse at a certain time, and that was the September, August. It's a man, Jesus, whoever will be born, a man-child will be born, reborn, coming in September. That's what the whole system is all about. This is why they want you to bury all religions. The elites at the top, the Freemasons, and that they know, they understand all this. They don't want you to know about it though. You've got to get this out to everybody. Try and get them to understand it's all about frequencies and celestial movements in the realm we're in. It's all connected with the human brain, and it's all about waking up the human brain. Otherwise you stay a dozy-do slave. This was all about being a slave. See the Anunnaki story? It's a riddle. It's not literal. Slaves. We are slaves to these elites who run the whole system. We're letting them get away with it. Go get your jab, everybody. Yeah, really cool. What's this? The eye opener. That was the other day I mentioned. So, in the beginning, Exodus describes the whole creation story. How, Earth found that this was maybe like a bubble or something, but it found its resonating frequency. All of a sudden went bang, because prior to that, it was all chaos. Primordial waters, this was down, it was all down, there's nothing. Black, dark waters. Nothing. Just imagine there was nothing. But a frequency, the right resonating frequency, that's the whole story. It's based on this resonating frequencies. It found the right resonating frequency, bang, it came to life. Then the chaos became an organised system. It started flowing the electrons. It started working. And we know this on Earth with electricity and magnetic fields. Once you get the voltage, you've got the magnetic field. Once you've got the magnetic field, you've got the voltage. The flowing magnetic field, you've got the voltage. It's feeding itself. This is how Earth works. It feeds itself. You can't see the sun's 93 million miles away because it has to be inside this closed system. And it circulates the whole magnetic field. So once the sun was created, bang, it created heat. So then it starts raising all this atmospheric moisture off the sea into the atmosphere, into this closed system. It might not be anything solid up here, it's just the magnetic field, it's just the realm, the magnetic field. So obviously if all the moisture is coming off the sea's going to drop. So all the water's sitting up here. And in a lot of religious story, when they're talking about the seas, you have to consider they're talking about sea up here. And there's another story being flipped upside down. You've got a sea here and a sea here. This is all water, atmospheric moisture. So you can imagine it going up there as well. So you've got and then the sea levels dropping and then creating land. And then you get the whole Noah story. But then you've got to realise the Noah story is about creation. It's a story, and it's connected at the same time to man's awakening. He's found his resonating frequency because he's connected with the earth. His brain, earth is a brain. You've got the human brain and the earth. Whatever happens on earth happens with the human brain. This is where you have to connect all living life on earth. We're all connected. So what we do, what we screw up in our brains, we screw up what's around us. Nobody can fix this climate change if they don't all wake up and stop all the violence and all the crap. Makes me think of Japan. I mean, hell, they go through a lot, eh? But they're out there slaughtering whales and dolphins. They're doing some evil shit on the planet. As a culture, as a people, they're lovely people. But there's some evil shit going on when it comes to slaughtering dolphins and whales. And I think they're being punished. People think that's just crazy talk, but we're all connected. You can't hide from it. When you realise how it all works, you can't deny it. We're all connected. Read Pythagoras. He spells it out. Why you shouldn't eat animal, why you shouldn't kill. The pain, because they do suffer, they suffer. And that suffering comes into you. You take that suffering on board. You'll never be at peace. And at the end of the day, you've got the scales, you'll be weighed. This is the other thing about life. You've got to realise everything here is connected with nature, right? So we know that. So you think of the human body. So you've got a moon, you've got a sun, there's light here, and you have it just off centered to the black hole. So you've got to think of the human body. He's got his black hole and he's got his sun, light, life, reproduction, just offset from their dung hole. There's a black hole, a white hole, black and white. This is the scales of life. You can either go through the white light or go through the dung hole, Hades. This can happen in your physical world when you get just spiritually awoken, you'll go through the white light. But in the aftermath of your physical world, when your body dies, you get weighed there too. So you're either going to the white light, the sun, or you're going to the black hole to be munted, distributed, and come out as some other totally different form. Well, actually, that's the main route out, actually. These are the divine ones. You want to go through the light. You know you're one then. You'll get choices. Through the black hole you don't. That's hell. So, okay, so we've got the atmospheric moistures up there. Remember, everything in there is all reflected out here. And all those celestial bodies are all set up in here in the elements, in the firmament. Because that's what the planets are. It's all frequency based. Separated layers of atmospheric moisture, waters above them. It's all frequencies, different layers of frequencies. So this is where you're getting your different planets. They'll be sitting in those, each have their own different layer. Background stars are different. They're up higher around here because they're out here. They're projected out here. All the central stuff is all located in our in our ecliptic plane, the ecliptic, isn't it? The ecliptic, yeah, up in there. It's like the ring of fire around the sun here. It's within that zone, your planet and the moon and the sun. And realise this is what the moon's doing. It winds around, down and out. It's always at epigee, at full moon. Science, with their silly model, trying to fool you that it could be anywhere. Perigee. Perigee is always down the bottom here, closer to Earth. Supermoons and all that slightly different. There's more to that. But perigee and the supermoon is always down here. As for size and all that, supermoons is to do with your gates, where you are standing and where it's coming through your gates. See the gates? Or whether it's your gates are here or wherever. It depends on the time of the season as well as to where the sun is. How far up north, how far down south. Out of there, it's perigee. But it's based on these gates. So when you see that, you can see a full moon here, and 1 month you'll see the full moon back here, because it's out here, it's in that gate, it's back there. So come through like this to you, it just seems like it's further north, because you're seeing it out here at full moon. You see? Because the moon moves around too with its cycles as it goes in and out. It's going like this. So it's all about these gates here, where you're seeing it in the gates. So you can see it full moon one time there, full moon might be over there one time. But it's all to do with where you are, where you're seeing it. It spirals out like this, just right out, and then back in again. And each month it just moves that a little bit more around. And it goes into the sun carries it for 2.2 days, and leaves it behind, and it'll come out, and that's slightly different, but a little bit further west each time it comes out to do its cycle again. So what else can I say? So, creation. Pretty much it, isn't it? You'll find all religions, all mythological stories are connected if you can get past the riddles. You just don't read it word for word. You probably won't, unless you understand this model, my whole flat earth model, you won't get the riddles, you won't see them. But once you know the model, I can read all those stories and know exactly what they mean. It's easy. It's only in regards to all this religious and creation stuff. I can't go and decode codes. But if it's any writings, original writings, I can read them. And I know, it doesn't take long, I realise it's fudged, it's not authentic. Like when I first got into this and started reading all that Gnostic, all that religious story, like the Nagamati, old Nagamati, there was always this dispute about Thomas, what was left out. And there's two I read of Thomas. There's Thomas, the something or other, in the Book of Thomas. I can't even remember now. But one of them is fake ass. And just off the top of my head, I'm thinking it was the other one they thought was the real one. But one of those books of Thomas is you need to throw out. I can't say which one right now. I realise the white light is the sun. It's in many places. It's always there. We cannot see the real one. We see nothing of the real stuff back in here. We only see the projections. But it's frequency based. It's already here. The sun is always out here. during the day, that is. At night, that's different. It's turned away, and its positions is related to the magnetic field it's in. It'll follow the magnetic field. So the sun is always out here. It's on the top here. It's at the top because you've seen through all the layers to get to the white light. The layers of the spectrum, the white light. And everybody has their own image of the sun. In your horizon, if you got pupils, you attune to that frequency, you will see it in your horizon. That everybody sees their own sun in their own horizon. Although it's on the same one track, the daily track, but you'll see it within your arc of horizon. The sun is in many places, but only seen in one, meaning it's only your image. It's not a object. And just recently they were talking about sun flares. What a load of bullshit. How can a non-physical thing have sun flares? You can't see the original one, and these are all projections, and it's everywhere. Which one had the flares? How can it have a flare? It's just total rubbish, everybody. There could be a magnetic field variation because it's the flowing of the magnetic field, and it might resonate with the sun because the sun, it's all part of it. But there's no flares. Total bullshit. Some sort of maybe vibration, maybe something, but no, there's been billions and billions of dollars, your taxpayers' dollars, to build all these telescopes all around the world for nothing, basically, just about nothing. They found all the facts earlier on, being left by all the historians. The Indians knew it all way back before the English white man came along and fudged it all. So, but it's life. Work like a slave, keep the elites up there, being at rest. Well, that's all I've got to say, I think. Run a bit thin now. Cheers. Share it. Get on all these flat earth sites. There's plenty of other information, but not on hand. Working on memory only.